Same. Good morning. Hi, Danny. How are you doing today? I even forgot I put this thing on, but I had muted it. How are you doing today? Akwoko Benjamin, hi. Walike Moses, how are you doing? Having a mango. How's everyone? Good morning or good afternoon. Today I'm meeting a lot. What's the time? Oh, it's already 12. Okay. How are you? How is everyone? Oh, this is so nice. Eating up apple. Amy, oh, so nice. So yeah, how are you? Doesn't want to move any further. Close your eyes. 1, 2, 3 seconds. I need to support my legs like this. Okay. I can start criticizing myself. Mango, mango. The power. Malik Irfan, how are you doing? Good morning. Is it? It's. I'm literally saying morning because the weather looks like it's morning, but it's afternoon. I'm eating this thing carefully so that it doesn't spoil my whatever my bed sheet. (9:40). So good morning to you. Good morning, Jonatas. Jonatas Barros. Hi, how are you doing? Oi. By the way, the coffee thing has been, like it's processing, and it will be. It says here the arrival date expected 28th, but probably tomorrow. Ah, why is this thing so hot? It's burning my finger, my toe. So probably from tomorrow to 28th. When is today? Today is on 25th. Yeah. Yep. My laptop is burning me. Electrocution. Am I eating? Who cares? This is how I eat. But it's so nice. I had not eaten the mangoes from, I think, last week, so I got this one yesterday. I just got two, and I already ate one. Juicy. When you were young, you have to eat this thing and then also remove the cover thing and chew it with salt. But you don't swallow it, just chew it. It used to feel nice. Especially for the little mangoes. Not the big ones, not even this one is even like a bigger size, I think. Like the tiny ones. I have some work I'm supposed to do here, but I literally can't focus. Andras, hello, how are you doing? How are you? I'm having a difficult time focusing. Okay, thank you. This is literally how you know that I'm having a lazy day. I haven't even spread my bed. Not yet. That is something I usually do when I wake up. I don't have the energy. More energy, more power. We stay hungry, we devour. Okay, let's see. I honestly don't even know. So nice. Let me see if ChatGPT will read this aloud for me so that I can know everything is okay. Let's proceed. What are you doing? Is today a holiday? Because I'm seeing like kids have not gone to school. I've never seen a holiday in February. I use like the international in February, international holidays. Like I don't know, environment or something like that. Or have they closed school? I have no idea. But schools usually don't close on like on a Tuesday. Mostly schools usually close on Thursdays or Fridays.
Onset. A comprehensive literature review introduction. Acute ischemic
How
stroke
is this
remains one
thing
of the leading
reading?
causes of death and long-term neurological disability globally, imposing substantial clinical, social, and economic burdens on healthcare systems. Johnson et al. 2019. Timely reperfusion therapy, including intravenous thrombolysis and mechanical thrombectomy.
Thrombectomy is the cornerstone of acute stroke management and is strongly associated with improved functional outcomes. Powers et al. 2019. Historically, eligibility for these interventions has been determined using rigid, time-based criteria, typically requiring treatment within 4.5 hours for thrombolysis and up to 6 hours for thrombectomy from symptom onset. This approach assumes a predictable temporal evolution of cerebral infarction, an assumption now known to be biologically inaccurate for many patients. Saber et al. 2020. Wake-up stroke, WUS, defined as stroke symptoms first noticed upon awakening, and stroke of unknown onset together account for approximately 20 to 25% of all ischemic strokes. Tomala et al. 2018. In these cases, the exact time of symptom onset cannot be reliably determined, rendering traditional time-based eligibility criteria unsuitable and historically excluding a significant proportion of patients from reperfusion therapies. This exclusion has raised ethical and clinical concerns, particularly given growing evidence that infarct progression is highly variable and influenced by collateral circulation, metabolic factors, and individual cerebrovascular physiology. Astra et al. 1981. Advances in neuroimaging have fundamentally reshaped this paradigm by enabling a shift from time-based to tissue-based decision-making. Modern imaging strategies aim to identify irreversibly infarcted tissue, salvageable penumbra, and biological markers of stroke age, thereby allowing clinicians to individualize treatment decisions regardless of clock time. Campbell et al. 2019. Modalities such as non-contrast computed tomography, NCCT, CT perfusion, CTP, and magnetic resonance imaging, MRI, particularly diffusion-weighted imaging, DWI, and fluid-attenuated inversion recovery, FLAIR, now play a central role in the evaluation of WUS and unknown onset stroke. This literature review critically examines current imaging strategies used in the assessment and management of WUS and stroke of unknown onset. It evaluates the diagnostic and clinical utility of different imaging modalities, explores their role in guiding reperfusion therapy, and discusses emerging developments such as artificial intelligence, AI, in stroke imaging. Through synthesis of contemporary evidence, this review highlights both the transformative impact of imaging-guided care and the ongoing challenges that must be addressed to optimize outcomes for this complex patient population. Methods of comprehensive literature research was conducted to identify relevant peer-reviewed studies addressing imaging strategies for WUS and stroke of unknown onset. Electronic databases including PubMed, Scopus, Web of Science, and Embase were searched for articles published between January 2014 and January 2026 to ensure inclusion of contemporary evidence reflective of current imaging technologies and clinical practice. Maher et al. 2009. Search terms included combinations of wake-up stroke, unknown onset stroke, CT perfusion, MRI DWI FLAIR mismatch, imaging-guided thrombolysis, mechanical thrombectomy, and artificial intelligence in stroke imaging, with Boolean operators used to refine results. This systematic approach ensured a broad yet focused capture of relevant literature. Inclusion criteria encompassed randomized controlled trials, observational cohort studies, meta-analyses, systematic reviews, and major clinical guidelines that explicitly examined imaging-based selection for reperfusion therapy in WUS or unknown onset stroke. Studies were required to report imaging criteria, clinical outcomes, or workflow implications. Exclusion criteria included case reports, small case series involving fewer than 20 patients, non-English publications, and studies lacking explicit imaging methodology or relevance to unknown onset stroke populations. These criteria were applied to ensure methodological robustness and clinical relevance. Titles and abstracts were initially screened for relevance, followed by full text review of eligible studies. abstraction focused on imaging modality, patient selection criteria, treatment type, clinical outcomes, and reported limitations. Due to heterogeneity in imaging thresholds, outcome measures, and study design, a narrative synthesis approach was adopted rather than formal meta-analysis. Copley et al. 2006. This methodological choice allows for critical comparison and contextual interpretation of findings across diverse studies, which is particularly appropriate for an evolving field such as stroke imaging. Non-contrast computed tomography in wake-up stroke. Non-contrast computed tomography, NCCT, remains the first-line imaging modality in acute ischemic stroke evaluation due to its widespread availability, rapid acquisition, and high sensitivity for excluding intracranial hemorrhage, which is a critical contraindication to reperfusion therapy. Powers et al.
I'm feeling ready to
2019.
read, so
Hackett et al. 2008. In patients presenting with wake-up stroke, WUS, NCCT is routinely employed as the initial imaging step to establish diagnostic safety and guide subsequent imaging decisions. Its universal accessibility ensures that it remains the cornerstone of early stroke triage across diverse healthcare settings, including institutions without advanced neuroimaging capabilities. In the context of WUS, NCCT is commonly used to estimate infarct extent through assessment of early ischemic changes using the Alberta Stroke Program Early CT Score, aspects, Barber et al. 2000. Several studies have demonstrated that higher aspect scores correlate with smaller infarct cores and improved functional outcomes following reperfusion therapy, even when treatment is administered beyond conventional time windows. Noguera et al. 2018. Albers et al. 2018. Consequently, aspects has been incorporated into major thrombectomy trials and guideline recommendations as a pragmatic tool for patient selection. However, aspects was originally developed for anterior circulation strokes and may underestimate infarct burden in posterior circulation or lacunar presentations, limiting its universal applicability in WUS populations. Despite these advantages, NCCT has well recognized limitations in detecting early ischemic injury, particularly within the hyperacute phase following arterial occlusion.
I told you the morning I don't have water.
Differentiation, cortical swelling, or sulcal effacement may be difficult to identify, leading to reduced sensitivity and substantial inter-observer variability. Wardlaw et al.
I'm being honest.
2014. Mugalaw et al.
100%.
2014. These challenges are amplified in wake-up stroke, where symptom onset may have occurred hours before imaging, yet radiographic changes remain inconspicuous. Variability in reader experience further compounds this limitation, potentially influencing treatment eligibility and clinical outcomes. A fundamental limitation of NCCT in unknown onset stroke is its inability to provide physiological information regarding tissue viability. Unlike advanced imaging modalities, NCCT cannot reliably distinguish between irreversibly infarcted core tissue and potentially salvageable penumbra, which is central to imaging-guided reperfusion strategies. So today et al. 2019, Ma et al. 2019. As a result, reliance on NCCT alone risks both overtreatment of patients with extensive infarction and undertreatment of patients who may benefit from reperfusion despite uncertain symptom onset. This constraint has driven the increasing integration of CT perfusion and MRI into contemporary WUS pathways. Nevertheless, NCCT continues to play an indispensable role within multimodal imaging algorithms. Its speed enables rapid exclusion of hemorrhage and large established infarcts, facilitating safe progression to advanced imaging without delaying treatment workflows. Powers et al. 2019, Martins et al. 2023. In resource-limited settings where perfusion imaging or MRI is unavailable, NCCT may represent the only feasible imaging option, underscoring its importance in global stroke care. Keola et al. 2023. Therefore, while NCCT alone is insufficient for definitive tissue-based decision-making in wake-up stroke, its role as a rapid, accessible, and universally available gateway modality remains foundational to acute stroke imaging pathways. Magnetic resonance imaging and DWI, flare mismatch magnetic resonance imaging, MRI, has emerged as a pivotal modality for estimating stroke onset and tissue viability in wake-up stroke, WUS, owing to its superior sensitivity for early ischemic injury. Diffusion-weighted imaging, DWI, detects cytotoxic edema within minutes of arterial occlusion, making it one of the earliest radiographic markers of acute cerebral ischemia. Mosley et al. 1990, Kidwell et al. 2004. In
Actually, this
contrast,
thing is not
fluid
good.
attenuated inversion recovery, flare, signal changes typically develop several hours after symptom onset, reflecting vasogenic edema, blood, brain barrier disruption, and progressive tissue injury. Tom Allen et al. 2011, Wardlaw et al. 2014. The presence of a DWI.
I think I should go out and walk around for some minutes. I'm exhausted mentally.
Aligning with established throughout
I'm tired of these things.
Early observational studies and pooled analyses demonstrated that DWI flare mismatch correlates with shorter time from stroke onset and improved.
I'll continue later. I'm exhausted. My mind is tired. That's why I can't even focus. I'll go for like 30 minutes to an hour. Let me go get myself something sweet to eat. What do I want to eat? I don't even know. Like maybe just something sweet, like a nice cake. A nice cake. Or I get the chocolate today. Yep. I'm tired. I'm tired, and I just keep on pushing myself to the edge. I'll break. Instead of forcing myself to focus, I can take a break. No one's gonna beat me. Bye bye. I'll see you guys later. Subscribe.